Have you ever come across a newspaper headline where, after demonetization, a high court ruled that demonetized notes are no longer a legal tender? Or news where the RBI clarified that rupees 10 coins are legal tender even when some people were refusing to accept them? Yes, such news makes headlines from time to time. But have you ever wondered what exactly does the term legal tender means? You may know it or maybe not. Either way, don't worry. We are going to break it down today. Hello everyone, welcome back to Civil's Mentorship. Before we understand legal tender, we first need to understand an important concept called as fiat money. So what exactly is fiat money? Now fiat money is a type of currency that is issued by a government but is not backed by any physical commodity like gold or silver. Instead, its value comes from the trust people place in the government or central authority that issues it. So what are the examples of fiat money? Say for example, Indian rupee, US dollar, euro, digital rupee. Now these are all issued by government or central bank which can measure value. So the next question comes that for a currency to be a fiat money, whether there are any criteria that needs to be satisfied or not. Yes, there are certain criteria that needs to be satisfied. Now, for any currency to be classified as a fiat money, it must meet two conditions simultaneously. First is, it must exist in a physical or digital form like paper notes, coins, digital currency, or even virtual coins, and it must function as a measure of value. So, this is an important criteria. Now, what is the next criteria? Now, it must be issued by a sovereign authority, such as a king, queen, government, or central bank. Say for example, in our case, government issues all coins up to rupees 1000 using powers of what? The Coinage Act of 2011. Similarly, RBI, the central bank, issues currency notes other than rupee 1 under the RBI Act of 1934. So hope you understood that what is fiat money. So now that we understood fiat money, let's move to the core concept, legal tender. So what is exactly legal tender? Now in simple terms, legal tender refers to coins or banknotes that must be accepted by law to settle a debt or make a payment. Now in other words, if someone offers you legal tender in repayment, you are legally bound to accept it. You cannot refuse. For example, rupees 500 Indian banknote or rupees 10 coin. These are legal tenders issued by Government of India or central bank and must be accepted for all payments and debt settlements nationwide. So similar to fiat money, certain conditions needs to be satisfied for a currency to become a legal tender. So what are those? Now for a currency to be recognized as a legal tender, it must satisfy two conditions simultaneously. First condition is that it needs to be a fiat money. So obviously the two conditions that needs to be satisfied for a currency to become a fiat money, that similar condition need to be satisfied over here as well. So in order to become a legal tender, first condition is that it should be a fiat money. Second condition is that it must be legally recognized for use in all dates and transactions across the country, which means no party can refuse to accept it. That is exactly why after demonetization, demonetized notes were declared not legal tender anymore, as they no longer fulfill the second condition. If anyone nowadays also, if anyone gives you rupees 1000 notes, you can easily deny that one because because that is not a legal tender anymore. Hope you understood that what is a legal tender. Now let's see this chart to understand it in a more clear manner. Say for example, we have 500 Indian 500 rupee banknotes. Is it a fiat money? Now in order to become a fiat money, we need to satisfy two conditions. What are those? Firstly, it must be issued by a government or a central bank. So is 500 rupee issued by a government or central bank? Yes. And secondly, it needs to measure value. So obviously 500 rupees, we can measure value with the 500 rupee note. So that means it is a fiat money. But is it a legal tender? Let's see. In order to become a legal tender, first condition is it needs to be a fiat money. So obviously it is. So first condition is satisfied. Second condition is that it can be legally useful or it can be legally recognized for use in all dates and transactions. So can we use rupees 500 for the purpose? Yes. So this is issued by RBI and recognized for all payments and dates. So that is why rupees 500 Indian banknote is a fiat money as well as a legal tender. Now, rupees 10 coin. So similarly, rupees 10 coin is also a fiat money as well as a legal tender. Now let's see Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin a fiat money? Is it issued by government or central bank? No. So that means it is not a fiat money. So since it is not a fiat money, so obviously legal, it will not be a legal tender as well. Understood? Next comes gold coin. So is it a gold coin is a fiat money? No. That means it's not a legal tender as well. Next comes check. Now, is check a fiat money? No, because check is an instrument. So that means it's a payment instrument, but it's not a money itself. So that's why check is not a fiat money. So since it is not a fiat money, so that means it is not a legal tender as well. So hope you understood the difference between fiat money and legal tender, and under what conditions our currency can be a fiat money, and under what conditions a currency can be a legal tender. So now, since you understood this topic, let's see how UPSC frames questions on this topic. Now, this is a question that came in 2018, which correctly describes the meaning of legal tender money. Option A, the money which is tendered in courts of law to defray the fee of legal cases. Second option, the money which a creditor is under compulsion to accept in settlement of his claims. Third option, the bank money in the form of checks, drafts, bills of exchange, etc. Fourth option, the metallic money in circulation in a country. So hope you can get this answer. So drop your answer in the comment section below. Now finally, if you found this explanation helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Civil's Mentorship for more such UPSC focused videos.